Hey everybody, it's Will, just in time prepping. How are you guys doing? Hey, this video is going to be to all humans living in the world of preparedness. Okay, these are facts. The facts are that there are 1.9 million preppers in the United States. Now that seems like a lot, but it's not really. When you go to think that there are 4.9 million homesteaders. And there's not much of a difference between the two of them. But, most preppers are actually just preparing to become homesteaders. Anybody that knows about preppers, they know that we prepare for an shtf situation or whatever, So that's a big thing, whether they are collecting food, water, or clothing, or all of the above, that is what we're about. Now, if you guys go into FEMA.org on your browser, you can also see that FEMA recommends that you have up to 6 months of food and water on hand, just in case a disaster happens, or what they like a shtf situation. And then you can make sure that you're going to be covered for that event. Homesteaders, on the other hand, are people that eventually they lived in urban or suburban parts of a city, and they slowly over time were preppers, most likely preppers, and they just evolved into homesteaders. And that's why I'm telling you, most preppers evolve into being a homesteader. So although they are collecting food, water, and all that stuff they need to have, shelter in place and all that stuff, then that you have to make sure that let me turn something down here, make sure that everything is going to be going your way, getting ready for your bug out location. That's all about what preppers are about. If you listen to the preppers, they all talk about collecting their food and their water and putting it back into a separate location other than the food that they use every day. And that is their preps, what they call their preps. And so while they're doing that, then they also have things like gardens and stuff in their yards, or if they don't have yards, they do things what they call bucket gardening, stuff like that. Now, these things are all what comes into effect of preparing to be a homesteader. If you know most about preppers, they're always saying, well, what if everything comes down to the bottom line, where you can't stay where you're at right now, what would you do? So what you would do is you would go to your, what they call a bug out location. Bug out location is another place that they can go to feel safe. These days we tend to go to a bug out location that would actually be like a homesteading thing, maybe a cabin in the woods or someplace outside the city. So that could be construed as a homestead, and that would be where they start their homestead experience. But actually, most of them just want to save for it. If you notice, most people that are there's a few channels here on YouTube that actually practice prepping. Like me, I sit here and I teach you guys how to do it as much as I can. And most of us are trying to teach others that either haven't prepped before or are wanting to learn how to prep. They come to our channels to learn from us, right? So there are some people here that want to actually get their homesteading underneath their feet. so what they do is they prep as long as they can, and they either are taught or learn on their own of how to save money back so that they can get their own homestead started. And so that's why I say to all humans living in the world of preparedness, thank you, because that's us helping each other. So, if you look at it, then after a while you go out, you get your own property, and instead of bugging out, you're already outside the urban, suburban realm, and you can start your homesteading experience. Now, the homesteading experience is a learning curve. I mean, they all get their land and they get the home out there, and they either have a fixer-upper or they're building one or something like that, and you want to make sure that when you start your homesteading experience that you're not going into it so hot and heavy that you're going to turn into a failure right out of the box. And what you want to do is you want to get the land, and you want to make the land work for you, right? So you don't want to go out there and throw all your ideas at it and see what sticks and what doesn't. That's not the proper way, in my opinion, to do it. So the proper way, in my opinion, to do it would be to move onto the property, make sure that your home is sustainable, and then make some upgrades to it as you need to make sure that it's going to work for you and your family, okay? And don't start out big, you don't want to start out by having like cows and goats and all that stuff all at once, because you'll spend all your time working on those things and not working on the important things. And the important things that you want when you first become a homesteader are you want to make sure that you have all your outbuildings in place that are going to be there to help you take care of your animals that you'll have in the future. You don't want to get the animals in the beginning, because you'll spend all your time working on the animals, not actually getting the stuff done that you need to, like water catchment. You'll have to figure out how you're going to catch water or store water so that you'll have it in your emergency situations, right? Yep, that's what you need. Or you'll need to put in some sort of sewage system. All these things are things that you need to work on before you ever think about the animal end of it, And some people that homestead really don't have much in the end of animals, You'll find that sometimes you don't have, I say what it takes. That's my wording, to do the animal thing. So you may want to just end up with maybe something like a milk cow that you can milk, or maybe a goat where you can get the goat's milk, or a couple of goats or whatever, so that you can use some of the stuff that the goats put out for your living part, You don't always have to figure that whatever animals you have, that you have to butcher them for food. That's not always going to be the case. So that's why I say don't ever start out with the animals, because those kind of things can come later, and they will. Over time, they will. I mean, when you first move out there, you may want to put you up a pen for some chickens or something. And a pen for chickens is all another job by itself, from what I'm understanding, is you have to figure out how to put up a pen that is going to be predator proof, and that's quite the job in itself. Then the other thing is how to make sure that they can stay warm through the winter and whatnot. So if you start out with something like chickens while you're working on the rest of your homestead, that would be perfect, because then you would kind of get a feel for what you have to do, That's the important part. So as you can see, that's why I'm thanking you guys. I mean, you guys, not only do I know quite a bit about it, I keep learning. And that's something that all you guys out there can actually pick up from this. is sure you're going to jump in, you're going to start to learn how to prep. Yeah, you're going to catch such a interest in it if you're anything like me, that as you learn, you're going to find out that your goal should be that you want to be a homesteader. So if you look at it, the 1.9 million preppers and 4.9 million homesteaders, if you were to add that number together, you'd come up with something like 6 million, actually, 6 or 7 million. And they're saying that number is not really a good number, but it's a roundabout number. So the thing is, I want you guys to understand going into it that it's always going to be a learning curve. You're always going to learn new things. And no matter what you do out there, listen to the people that know. I mean, don't think that they're Mr. Know-it-alls or whatever, because most of them aren't. They're like you, too. They're learning along the way as well. And it's not that we have all the answers. It's that if we work together as a group, as preparers or preparedness, or we all work together, that we can make it work. And let's say the heck with the cities and move our new stuff out into the country and show the United States that we are people that work together to get the thing going all together, That's basically, I'm trying to keep my time down, but there's there's more to it, and I plan on doing another video on it. This might turn into a series, but for now, that's kind of what I wanted to open up with. You guys know I do only about one video a week, or I'm going to try to start doing one video a week anyway. So this is Monday. I'm going to be putting this out on Monday. Yeah, let's see what the date is. It is the 26th. So this is 5/26. I'm going to do this video. And then on Wednesday, I am going to be doing a live stream in which we're going to, at the end, I will be giving away a t-shirt. So anybody that wants to have the possibility of winning a just-in-time t-shirt, make sure that you spend the whole hour and a half in the live stream, because only the ones that spend the whole time have the opportunity to win that shirt. But we're going to have some fun while we're there. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, and we'll have a little bit of fun. It'll be an hour and a half. It'll start at 2 o'clock and run till 3:30, and that's all Mountain Standard Time. That would be 2 o'clock would be 3 hours on that, 5 o'clock Eastern, and I believe 4 o'clock on the West Coast. I'm not positive, but I think so. So I'm trying to keep this to 15 minutes. I'm running into trouble already because my mouth likes to run too much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. We're going to do a part 2 to this, where I'll try to go into more of the homesteading. I don't plan to be an expert on homesteading, but I know enough I could probably help you out a little bit. So as I said before, I hope that you enjoyed the film or the video, and I will be seeing you guys out there, and I appreciate you guys listening to my little canter. So until next time, you guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.